3 ways to make your backpack fun, pouches for your locker, an apple for the teacher, and a first day of school journal featuring an exciting new phone app. Today on Hands On.
Hands On is made possible by Elmer's Products Incorporated, manufacturers of a variety of adhesives, arts and crafts, and office products for use at home, school, or business. Elmers.com. Floracraft Foam. Make it fun. MakeItFunCrafts.com.
Since we all spend quite a bit of our day in school, it makes sense that we'd add a little fun to our day with crafting. Take a look at these projects for embellishing your backpack. We've got some funky patches, a lanyard, and a zipper pull that you can personalize with your name or your friend's name. Let's take a look at what we need to make them. You'll need some colorful beads, a badge clip and tag, paint pens, a rubber stamp, lanyards, letter beads, jumbo wood beads, some craft felt, some plastic jelly lacing, plastic lacing, some colorful rope, permanent ink, some canvas, safety pins, permanent marker, and some tacky craft glue. To get started, let's do the zipper pull. So this is an easy one. All you're going to do is take a piece of plastic lacing, doubled over, and knot it at the top. You can clip your lanyard to this part. Now, string your beads, including your letter beads, and then in between each bead, you can tie a piece or 3 of jelly lacing in a knot, like so. Pull it snug, and then just trim the end. Now you'll want to do that in between each of the pony beads, and then ignore the letter beads and then slide it up, and then make an overhand knot when you're all finished. Trim the ends, and you've got a funky zipper pull. Let's take a look at the finished one right here with all of our spikes. Next, I want to show you how to make this great badge tag. This is really, really easy. All you need is a length of rope. Put it around your neck to determine the length, and then string your bead on one end, put some craft glue in the end of the bead, and then lay the end of the rope on top and use a toothpick to set it in so that that covers your ends of the rope. I've got one ready right here. Next, all you have to do is clip your badge, clip to the rope, snap it in place, and then attach your ID tag. And you can put this around your neck or wherever you need it. I've clipped mine to my backpack. Last is my favorite embellishment, and this is making your own patches like this one I have in front. You're going to start with a plain piece of canvas. I actually repurposed an old tote bag that was a little worn, and just used the back of it for my canvas. And you're going to start by coloring directly onto the canvas. And you need a rectangle here. You just want to look at the size of the rubber stamp that you're using to determine your rectangle. So I've got one ready right here. The next thing you're going to do is stamp on your design with permanent ink. It's important that it's permanent because if it gets wet, you don't want it to run. So I've inked up my monster stamp here, and I'm going to just stamp them down. These clear block stamps are handy so you can see right where your stamp is. and I've got my image. And now just treat it like a coloring page where you're just going to color in your monster like so. And I'm using a paint marker that goes on all different kinds of surfaces. And I just kind of ignore the black line areas until I have something like this. And then you can use white for the teeth. Here he is all colored in. And then notice I lost some of my detail. So you can just go back over it with a permanent pen like that to outline your shape and define it again. And there he is. So from here, you're going to put a little bit of glue on the back and then down on some craft felt. To attach it to your backpack, you can use a large safety pin, or you might just want to glue it directly to your backpack. And then you can just pin it to your bag like so. You can make 1, 2, or all 3 of these ideas to make back to school that much more fun. Our favorite kids crafter, Marisa, is back to make these great pouches. Hi, Marisa.
Thanks for having me back. Glad to be here.
These are so cute. Perfect for school supplies, right?
Great for holding your erasers, pencils, you name it.
All right, I've got the supplies over here. So you're going to need some duct tape and sheets, some nonstick scissors, maybe a ruler, some removable hook and loop tape, duct tape and rolls, and some hook and loop strips. So tell me how we get started.
All right, so you're going to pick an inside color for your pouch and an outside color. So
Okay.
we're going with red on the inside.
Love
so
these rad flames.
what you're going to do is, yeah, they're awesome, awesome patterns. So you're going to just cut out along the furthermost line.
Okay,
on
I
all
love
4
this grid.
sides.
That makes it easy. So you're just removing a row of squares, right?
Yeah, you're cutting along the outermost line. And it doesn't matter where it is in relation to the edge of the paper, as long as you just cut off on 4 sides, because you're just making it a slightly
Just
smaller sheet.
Making it even, yeah.
So you just
I'm
want to make it a
saving
little
these for
smaller.
later.
Yeah, and you could totally use those for all kinds of things and embellishing. And, but we'll get into embellishing next.
Okay.
So you've got a sheet that's a little bit smaller than your original size sheet.
Okay.
So you're just going to peel the paper backing.
All right, this is key to keep it flat, right?
Oh yeah, you definitely want to peel against a flat surface, never just in midair.
Because
It can,
it's sticky.
very sticky, it can curl and stick to itself. So if you do this technique, you will never have that problem.
It's such a downer when we've all had it happen in our crafty adventures.
Yeah, so you just take that off, and then you're going to take your smaller sheet with the paper backing on.
Oh, leaving it in this side.
Yeah,
Okay.
that gives it kind of a hardness so it stays nice and rigid. And you're just going to lay that on,
All right.
and then you're going to notch out your corners.
Okay.
So you can just...
So we're basically just making one side of the pouch right now.
Yeah, this is the one side.
So when we're
and-
doing this, we actually need to make 2 of these as we go.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're using these nonstick scissors because it just pulls away from the tape so easily, right?
Yeah,
Like
so
that.
easy. Makes it very,
Snap.
very easy. So then you've got this piece, and you're going to just fold this edge over, lay it nice and flat.
Okay.
And I went ahead and created the other side ahead of time just to save on
Smart
time.
thinking.
Yeah, plan ahead. It's always good, right? And so you're just going to lay that directly on top
Okay.
of your other piece. And it's good to look from above to make sure you're lining it up straight.
Right. And this is so much easier when you're doing this kind of like full concentration. Not
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do.
Yep.
And if you get a little off, it's okay, because you can always trim it.
Marisa, I can't wait to see how you make the ruffles on the pouch.
All right, so I'll show you how to do that.
But you just are sealing
Yeah, I
this
just
up.
kind of sealed that, so make a
Okay.
nice sealed edge. And the way you make the ruffle is
You know I love my embellishments.
red,
Yes?
coordinate with the
Please.
inside.
This is so cool.
You're going to take a piece of tape, cut that, non-stick scissors, make it really easy.
Got it?
And you're just going to fold it part of the way
Okay.
down like that.
Okay.
And, you know, line it up with the top, and you're going to
Oh my gosh.
fold it and pleat it as you go.
Pleats.
So easy. And
I
so
love it.
you do that along
You can
the
go
whole
all the way
length
if you
of
want.
it,
Okay.
and then you would just put one to secure it down another
Okay.
piece of tape.
You know, I love this other embellishment that you have here with this like interchangeable flat back crystals. And you just used regular dots that
You
are...
use the regular hook and loop dots, and you know, you can put gems or buttons and all kinds of things, so that way
So
you can coordinate with your outfit.
You put the soft side down and then the scratchy side on the...
I did that so in case, you know, it didn't scratch you.
Yep, love it.
Always think of everything.
Okay, now I want to put this in the hands-on locker.
Well, first we got to just put a little hook and loop fastener right in there.
Okay,
You would just cut a piece of that,
let's seal it up.
and you would
Can I hold something?
put that hook and loop fastener right in there.
Okay,
And on the other side too.
got it. This will keep everything from falling out, right?
And then it stays
That's smart
nice and
thinking.
secure. So we've got this one
Okay.
all done.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's put it in the locker.
All
So what do
right.
we need? Some removable hook and loop tape, right?
Yeah, removable hook and loop tape
That
is
way we-
perfect for this kind of thing, so you don't get in trouble at school.
Yeah, because we don't want to pull off or vandalize the lockers.
Yes.
That would be
And
bad.
plus, if you have to move and go to your next locker, you want it to be easy.
Okay, and so we need these little transparent dots. This is the opposite side, so I'm just going to put these along the back.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then I'll just take this off,
Okay,
and we can put this on our locker. How about right on your locker right here?
I'm excited.
All
We need a
right.
pouch in this locker. I might have some craft supplies in it by the end of the day.
I'm sure you probably will.
Hang on, let me grab this pencil sharpener and erasers. Ready? Let's go.
Perfect.
Okay, so you're putting the backside up.
So yeah, you just lay it on real easy,
Okay,
and it's strong,
and it pulls off. Mm-hmm. Cool.
but it's removable, so it won't wreck the paint or damage.
Okay.
You won't
and
get in trouble.
I've got my dots. So cute.
And you know why that's so great? At the end of the day, when you need to go home,
See ya. Okay.
you run out the door.
So you've got one more school idea that we're going to take a look at. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
this too.
This is a great idea for your school projects.
This makes me think of 6th grade. I did a recycling one. And so you can just make these interactive parts. And when the judge comes by, you can just, it's so easy to explain, right?
Yeah, you could totally explain this, and you could remove things to reveal information. It makes it really interactive and fun, and you could make a question and an answer.
Well, we've got a little bit more time. Will you show me how you make the zigzag edge on the other pouch?
I'd love to. It's really easy.
I love this.
So those are all just these little triangles
Okay.
layered on top of each other.
How do
Really
we-
easy.
Okay, how
to
do we
make
make
it.
the triangle?
You would just cut a piece of tape and fold it down here
Okay.
and fold it down here.
And I love, wait a second, right here, how you have to leave just a little bit of sticky side still, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
keeps it together, makes it really strong.
And then,
And then you just would layer them on top of each other
like that.
as you go.
Awesome. And then but you still sealed, you hid all of these
Yeah, at
crazy
the end I
edges.
would trim it and then cover it with an extra piece just to make it real nice and finished.
I can't believe how easy these are. I can't wait to make some.
I know, it's so fun.
Thanks for coming today.
Thanks for
I'm
having
excited.
me. Yeah.
Make some points with the teacher by crafting her a trivet for her coffee. Let's take a look at this funky apple trivet. It's got crazy printed felt for the apple and some colorful stems and leaves to embellish it. The first thing you're going to need to make this apple trivet is felt, and you can get one printed piece for the apple, and then you're going to need several pieces of colored felt for the rest of the embellishments. You'll also need some pens, a needle, a transfer pen for marking your patterns, some thread, and some thick craft glue. You'll also need some scissors. Okay, the first thing you want to do is print the patterns that you can find on our website. You can see there's the apple, the stem, and you'll need 2 leaves. So to transfer your pattern, I'm just going to grab the first large apple and the printed felt, and you're going to lay it down, and then you're going to use this special marking pen for fabric and trace all around your apple. And this is just going to make a really faint line for you to cut your apple out. There we go. Let's see. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And when you cut, You want to cut so that you're working in close to the jaws, and that gives you lots of control because you want your cutting lines to be nice and smooth. Okay, on around. I really love this trivet because the apple doesn't exactly look like a bright, shiny red apple. It's got that surprise printed felt that makes it look so neat and modern. It's like a modern apple. And we're almost there. And you're going to come up on around. Now, because this is a trivet is used to protect your your tables from hot items like coffee or casseroles or something like that. So we need another piece of felt, and we need to trace our apple pattern again, except this time we're going to cut it a little bit smaller. And that's because inside the layers of our trivet is a secret piece of felt that protects your table. So we're going to just cut about 1/2 inch inside your apple. And I can just see my line. And we're going to keep going. And you can tidy this up once you remove the bulk of your felt. Here we go, almost to the end. So this now sits just inside of your apple piece, like so. Okay, to put all of this together, I want to show you what we've done. And that is you're going to layer your pieces. Let me show you on this piece so it shows up a little more. You're going to layer your pieces, the little apple and the big apple on top of a big piece of felt, and you're going to go ahead and tuck the stem in place. And then you're going to go around the edge and pin from side to side. And you're going to do that for the entire border of the apple. Now, we need to thread a needle, and if you have difficulty threading your needle, you can put a touch of glue on the end of the thread, which makes it easier to go through the eye versus trying to get frayed edges of thread through the eye of a needle. And starting from the back, you're going to just take a stitch with your needle, and you've got a knot there to anchor your thread in place. And then you're going to go up and down and up and down, or over under. It's also called a basting stitch. But you're going to go around the entire diameter of your apple so you end up with something like this. Now, you're going to repeat cutting out your leaves and pinning them to a larger piece of felt. When you stitch around them, then you're going to use your scissors to cut them out, and you'll have something like this. Now, this is kind of what we call faux stitching. You're just going to use thick glue. It's important to use thick glue here because if you use a runnier glue, it'll soak through your fabric, and then you'll see it, and then it doesn't look very good. And then just press these in place. And to finish it off, we're going to just trim around the whole apple, leaving a little border. I'm using a little bit bigger scissor here to make it easier, and leave about, a 1/4 inch border around your apple. And this is an apple trivet that any teacher would be happy to get. Never forget your first day of school and add pictures all year long to help you remember with this app and our journal. So there's this really cool new app that helps you to store all of your pictures of starting with the first day of school. You can download the app onto your iPhone or your tablet. This is what the cover page looks like, and then you're going to come down here to sign in. I've already signed in on my tablet, and it takes you directly to your photos. Now, to add photos, you can just click on the camera button, and you can either take a photo or you can choose existing that you might have already had stored in your phone. That's really handy if you have pictures from years previously. From there, you can start tagging your children. Let's go over here to the menu. You can tag your children, and you can organize them into albums. From there, you can go to the website and organize all of your photos into slideshows or download them in batches and have them printed into photos. Now, once you have all those photos, you're going to need a place to put them. And we've created this really fun first day of school journal. And I wanted it to look kind of like an old composition notebook. So to make it, let's see what we're going to need. You'll need a mini bifold foam piece, some stickers that are school themed, rubber cement, a permanent glue stick, it's really important that it's permanent, some fabric, and some tape, and some school themed papers. You'll also need a craft knife, a permanent pen, and a pencil. Okay, let's get started. The first thing you'll need to do is take apart your bifold. I know this is kind of weird because we're making a notebook, but we want it in two separate pieces so we can add our own pages. To do this, we're going to use a craft knife, and I've put down a protective surface. For this part, you're going to need some adult supervision because craft knives are sharp, and I don't want you to cut yourself. So we're just going to slice right down that seam so that we have two pieces. Once you have your two pieces, you're going to cover them in fabric, or you could use paper. I've got some school-themed paper right here and some bright fabric. Now, you can adhere fabric to paper surfaces with a permanent glue stick. You just want to make sure that you get a nice, even coat of glue over the whole piece of foam core. And make sure you really, really, really get the edges. And you're going to just push the piece of fabric on top and smooth it out with your fingers and get rid of all of the air bubbles. From there, you can trim around the piece and then put a back piece of paper. And I've got some ready right over here that I've already trimmed out, like so. Now, you'll notice that I put an edge of tape to seal in the ends. Let me find my one I haven't done. One thing I forgot to mention is you can round the corners of your foam, just like this. You can use the craft knife, but to make it a little bit easier, I actually just use scissors to round it out, like so. No big deal, because you can, you're gonna hide these corners with paper and fabric. Now, let's go ahead and seal up the edge with some tape. And I've got it end to end. Smooth that out, and then you're just gonna roll it right over that edge, like so. And you can use scissors to trim over any overhang if you didn't get it measured quite right. Now, to make the pages inside the book, you just simply tape two pieces of paper together. So just line them up and run the tape right down the center, like so. I'm going to line up this end so I only have to cut one side, like this, and then trim the end. And that makes it so the pages flip really, really easy. Okay, now put all of your pieces together. You're going to just tape in the piece, seal the ends with more tape. And I can probably show you this on the finished sample. If you just take a look, the tape starts in the front and then wraps around to the back, and that holds it all together. Let's open it up and take a look at the inside, and you can see that I've connected the pages of the book to the front cover with another strip of paint. Super easy. Now, to embellish the cover, you might want to cut out some pieces of cardstock, and to give it that composition book look, you can make a little border. And then we're going to add the letters that spell out in the number, first day, in our color theme that we've got going here. And you can spend a little bit more time and get things lined up perfectly. And we got to add the S and the T. And then to adhere this to the front cover, you're going to use your glue stick again, because glue will, this permanent stick will adhere to fabric as well. And we've got to leave a little bit of room for our row of book tape. And this is like a long sticker tape, and you can add that on the side. And then it's time to add some pictures to the inside, and you can do that with a little bit of rubber cement. And that's how I attach these pictures on the inside. And then you can add letters to spell out your name or your friend's name and the year. It's a great way to preserve the first day of school. Thanks for watching. Next program, it's time to let your mad scientists come out as we make some crafty experiments on Hands-On.
Projects and ideas from today's show, plus hundreds of other kids' craft projects for every occasion, season, and even school subject, are available on the web at craftsforkids.com. This is show 1506. Hands-On is made possible by Elmer's Products Incorporated, manufacturers of a variety of adhesives, arts and crafts, and office products for use at home, school, or business. Elmers.com. Floracraft Foam. Make it fun. MakeItFunCrafts.com.